This year marks a new milestone for Licking County Foundation, and it's a pleasure to share some reflections on our generous community and its legacies. It's also a pleasure and an honor to celebrate 65 years of our community's compassionate actions. Kind actions taken by generations of individuals, families, businesses, and nonprofits with the common goal of making a difference in the lives of others in our own backyard. 65 years ago, a small group of inspired local civic leaders met to discuss how to ensure that quality of life in Licking County would always improve. The first organizational meeting of the Licking County Foundation was held on November 21, 1956. This group's actions set in motion decades of charitable support for improving the quality of life for all citizens of Licking County and for creating new possibilities. Thanks to dedicated volunteer leaders, sound stewardship of gifts, and outstanding community partnerships, what began 65 years ago has grown to provide scholarships, strategic grants, and donor-designated supportive programs and services to help people live happy, healthy, and hopeful lives. In 1968, the foundation was home to 14 charitable funds with total assets of over $284,000. Today, the foundation is home to nearly 300 charitable funds and nearly $130 million in assets. Without community contributions, collaborations, and connections, the foundation would not have been able to provide this great community with the help and support that was so vital during the pandemic and as we emerge from it. While there were challenges, we are excited to share our story of resiliency, resourcefulness, dedication, and many, many compassionate actions by people in our community. Thanks to our neighbors, LCF was able to do more than just continue to operate during these challenging times. In 2020, the Licking County Foundation raised $3.5 million through 960 gifts, established 14 new funds for a total of 278, and provided $3.8 million in grant support and scholarships. One of the earliest gifts to the foundation came in 1957 when 6 donors provided 11 acres of land at South 2nd Street for building Mound City Little League Park. In 2020, nearly 700 generous donors made gifts to establish funds, build existing funds, honor or memorialize special people or milestones, and support the Foundation's programs, initiatives, or unrestricted fund. 2020 truly became the story of diverse stakeholders coming together to lift others. When the pandemic arrived, this community responded. Within weeks, the Foundation and the United Way of Licking County partnered to raise and distribute funds to meet the basic needs of Licking Countyans. Over $300,000 in gifts were received. 24 grants were dispersed to nonprofits to provide everything from personal hygiene items and PPE to health services, clothing, and food. Together, we helped the Licking County Aging Program assist homebound senior citizens. We helped Pathways of Central Ohio continue the 211 crisis hotline and information center as an essential resource during the pandemic. We also helped the Salvation Army feed families and adults. Grants will continue to be given from our COVID-19 Relief Fund until depleted. Each of our charitable funds is an inspiring reminder that our capacity to give is limited only by our imagination. Our fund donors come from every walk of life and every generation. Their gifts vary in size, their interests are diverse, and each fund has a purpose that matches the donor's philanthropic passion. For example, the Alpha Chi Omega Legal Assistance Fund was established by Denison University's Delta Xi chapter alumni to support victims of domestic violence who need legal assistance. The Beth Barton Eccles Memorial Scholarship Fund was established in her memory by her husband, family, and friends to provide assistance to women who are pursuing careers in cosmetology, art, or fashion design. The Licking County NAACP Scholarship Fund was created by this organization's board to assist Black, Indigenous, and people of color who want to further their studies at a college, university, and technical or trade school. Establishing a fund is a simple process that starts with a conversation. Gifts can also be made to existing funds in any amount by anyone at any time. To learn more, please give us a call. In 1971, the governing committee discussed the need to expand the foundation and use discretionary funds in meeting the needs of the community. Up until that time, the foundation focused its efforts on the acquisition of property to benefit the community, like the development of the Newark campus and public parks. Grants made by the foundation were mostly scholarships. From the very beginning, our donors believed that having strong nonprofit organizations and supporting the services they provide are integral to Licking County's vitality. In 2020, we distributed more than 330 grants across a broad range of programs. The foundation strives to support both our donors and our nonprofit partners as we work together to improve the community. Here's a sample of this support and its impact. The Dawes Arboretum introduced a world-class exhibition of 60 wind sculptures on their central grounds. Fostering Further purchased a building for use as transitional housing for emancipated youth. And the Friends of the Licking County Library received support for its ongoing county-wide literacy program provided by the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. In 1986, LCF's secretary, J. Gilbert Reese, was asked to write a letter to the superintendent of the county schools, Newark schools, and Granville schools, advising that applications for scholarships would be accepted and considered. There were 4 applicants that year. LCF's first scholarship was awarded to Patsy Lee Kearns in the amount of $1,000. The foundation remains committed to making education and training after high school attainable and affordable. In 2020, more than 100 scholarship funds allowed us to award more than $1 million to 347 deserving area students. LCF scholarship recipients headed to 84 different schools across the country, with 80% heading to Ohio institutions. Though their backgrounds and areas of study are diverse, our scholars had one thing in common: gratitude for donors' investments in their futures. One scholar summed it up like this: "I am both humbled and grateful that someone I have never met would be willing to invest in my future. I hope that one day I can give back to a student the way you have to me." The Licking County Foundation is well positioned to take on special initiatives, responding proactively and strategically to unique challenges and opportunities across Licking County. Here's a sample of initiatives that brought people together to create a better community in 2020. We learned together through 5 virtual trainings to become more aware, more impactful, and more equitable. Over 300 participants represented a wide cross-section of our community. We reimagined and revitalized 2 downtown Newark community resources. The refresh of Foundation Park brought additional green space, accessible seating, and gathering places, plus a beautiful pollinator garden. We continued our restoration of the Louis Sullivan Building. The exterior was completed, and today it looks like it did when it opened in 1915. Breathtaking. Up next is the interior restoration and annex build. Stewardship of the assets entrusted to us is one of our most important responsibilities. When gifts are placed in our care, donors can count on the foundation to operate efficiently, invest wisely, and disperse impactfully. In 1967, board member John Alford reported that the foundation's income cash balance, or what we now call an operating budget, was overdrawn by $67.83. Today, LCF's total assets are in the top 5 of all Central Ohio foundations. Our team's careful attention ensures that donor legacies will endure and grow, that our community will thrive and improve, and that our collective actions will always be compassionate. We hope that you enjoyed this snapshot of our great community's philanthropic actions then and now. Coretta Scott King's quote captures what happens here year after year. In 1959, the governing committee discussed the possibility of having a survey made of community needs, attempting to bring about a consent of action to solve some of the community's major problems. this consent of action is still one of the best ways to keep moving forward. So what's next? All of you are part of our community's path of continuous advancement too, and we want to ask you, if you had to choose one thing to improve the lives of others in Licking County, what would it be? There are so many possibilities, and we want to hear yours. Tell us. Click on the QR code on the screen or visit lcfoundation.org. Share this question with your friends, family, co-workers, clubs, faith communities, and neighbors. Please give us a call if you'd like a supply of our special QR-coded bookmarks. Thank you, Licking County, for your compassion in action, helping to improve lives since 1956. Together, we can continue making a difference in the place we call home.